Once you stop learning, you start dying. Albert Einstein. There is no limit to what you can achieve in your career or how good you can get at the hobbies you enjoy most if you learn and leverage the right learning strategies. After reading The Only Skill That Matters by Jonathan Levi, I've discovered 3 powerful learning strategies: multi-learning, brute force learning, and pushing up the pyramid. Let me show you how to implement these 3 counterintuitive learning strategies so you can become a super learner. Super learning strategy number 1, multi-learning. If you want to be a better tennis player, learn pickleball at the same time. To be a better nonfiction writer, try to write great movie screenplays too. To get better at the guitar, take guitar and drum lessons throughout the week. And if you want to learn Spanish, add German lessons to your weekly learning schedule. When you learn 2 or more loosely related skills simultaneously, those skills cross-pollinate because the insights you gain learning one skill lead to breakthroughs in the other skill. For instance, learning tempo and time signatures while drumming can help you grasp rhythmic patterns while playing the guitar. Author Cal Newport found that studying film, he often takes 2 hours in the afternoon to catch a matinee, made him a better storyteller and made his nonfiction writing more compelling. Author Jonathan Levi found that mastering weight transfer and proper balance while learning Olympic powerlifting helped him rapidly learn and improve at acro yoga. And when you go between practicing one skill and another, you bring fresh perspectives to your practices. If you spend a day practicing pickleball and then go back to practicing tennis, your pickleball perspective can help you see tennis in a new way, which can generate insights and help you escape a learning plateau. Multi-learning similar skills will also help you understand the nuances of any one skill. If you go between learning German and Spanish, you can easily contrast the 2 languages and quickly spot unique qualities of each language. Now, if you can't find or practice a similar skill, experience the benefits of multi-learning by diving deep into various sub-skills of the skill you're learning. For instance, if you're taking a negotiating course, buy and study a book on body language or persuasion. If you're learning how to program, take a logic or critical thinking course in addition to the programming course you're taking. Super learning strategy number 2, brute force learning. Brute force is a term used by computer hackers and refers to attacking a network from multiple angles to gain access. Brute force learning is the act of using multiple sources to understand a complex concept or movement. If you wanted a deep understanding of cognitive biases, you might start by reading a psychology textbook and a popular nonfiction book, then supplement your reading with a YouTube video that visually explains different types of biases, and a podcast interview with a cognitive bias expert. These different resources and mediums would allow you to see similar concepts from different angles. And when one teacher or resource explains something in a way you don't quite get, you simply would turn to the next resource or teacher. After a confusing lecture in business school, Jonathan Levi turned to Khan Academy for an alternative explanation. Khan Academy explained the subject slightly differently, which helped him understand it in mere minutes. In the book, he says, "My professor wasn't a bad teacher. It just so happened that the way he understood and explained the subject was not a way that would ever make sense to me as a student. Had I persisted in trying to learn it his way, I might still be sitting in that classroom with my head in my hands." Now, there are 2 additional benefits of learning from multiple sources at once. First, when you learn from various sources, you will notice the commonalities and identify the most valuable material in the shortest amount of time, like the strongest and most frequent cognitive biases. And second, learning from different sources simultaneously allows you to create a personalized learning plan by combining the best methods from each teacher or resource and discarding methods that don't align with your learning goals. So if you were learning cognitive biases to be a more persuasive leader, select and study the best explanations for the critical few biases that apply to your goal. Super learning strategy number 3, push yourself up the learning pyramid. It's easy to fool yourself and think you know more than you do. That's why you must constantly test your understanding by pushing yourself up the learning pyramid while learning a skill or subject. You see, most people stop at the first level of the pyramid. They merely grasp a concept and move on. However, progressing to levels 2 through 6 will ensure that you know the concept on a deep level and will never forget it. Move from level 1 to level 2 by actively recalling what you learn. For example, after reading a chapter on hydroponic gardening, close the book and try to repeat the main points of what you just read. In 2008, researchers found that students who quizzed themselves immediately after reading new material remembered approximately 80% more words on average. Move from level 2 to level 3 by frequently explaining what you learned in your own words and use analogies when possible. For instance, you could explain hydroponic gardening to a friend by saying it's a type of gardening that doesn't require soil because the plants get the exact nutrients they need in the solution they're growing in, much like how an IV drip at a hospital controls the flow of nutrients to a patient. Move from level 3 to level 4 by putting your newfound knowledge to work in some way. For example, try to grow hydroponic strawberries using the information you just learned. Move from level 4 to level 5 by analyzing the results of what you've learned and applied. Evaluate the health of your hydroponic strawberries after a month to see if your understanding was flawed in some way and determine what more you need to learn. And finally, ascend to the top level, level 6, by creating a custom model of understanding. For example, make a detailed hydroponic gardening guide for beginners. Moving up the learning pyramid is difficult. Oftentimes, you will look stupid and feel dumb, but that's the price you must pay to achieve true understanding. In the end, if you've hit a learning plateau, it's time to mix up your learning approach and adopt 3 learning strategies. First, practice or study 2 loosely related skills or subjects simultaneously. Second, learn each skill from several instructors or resources at the same time so that you rarely get stuck on any one concept or movement. And lastly, continuously test your understanding by recalling, explaining, applying, analyzing, and creating. Leverage these 3 counterintuitive learning strategies, and you will become a super learner. That was the core message that I gathered from The Only Skill That Matters by Jonathan Levi. Jonathan has spent most of his life learning how to learn, and his book provides profound insights. I highly recommend it. If you would like a 1-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribed to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, please share it. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.